This is IGN. An action-packed premiere that's exhilarating in spite of its faults. This is your IGN review of the Season 2 premiere of Solo Leveling by Rafael Montemayor. Much like the video game it emulates, the anime series Solo Leveling often forces its protagonist to tediously grind away in order to gain experience and level up, a gift unique to Sung Jin-woo in this universe of invading monsters and the magical hunters who keep them at bay. But when that repetition is followed by a big, hyper-intense, and awesome fight, it justifies the whole thing. This is a show that's practically criticism-proof. Just when it seems like Solo Leveling is wasting the audience's time with a subplot that goes nowhere, or with side characters that threaten to steal our attention away from Jin-woo's feats of strength, it throws a dozen visually stunning, jaw-dropping things at the screen. There's not much substance to Solo Leveling beyond its thrilling fights, but the beginning of Season 2 is still an exhilarating, fist-pump-worthy good time. Thanks to the flashy animation of A1 Pictures and the rousing music of Hiroyuki Sawano, the already spectacular artwork of the original Solo Leveling webtoon becomes a second season premiere full of severed limbs, smashed skulls, and buckets of blood. The first season ended with Jin-woo acquiring a superpower that lets him resurrect dead enemies and add them to his army. The first 2 episodes of Season 2 are essentially all about testing out these necromancy skills, with dozens of new faces cowering in fear to sell us on Jin-woo's increased skills. Is there more to the premiere than the fights and the wish fulfillment of a forgettable, weak dude becoming the most overpowered guy in the world? Yes, and also not really. These 2 episodes see Jin-woo continue his journey toward anti-heroism and at times full-on villainy. They even raise some interesting questions about the corrupting nature of Jin-woo's powers and make some hints that he's becoming more like the monsters he fights in the dungeons. Yet all that is quickly brushed aside in favor of developments like the arrival of vicious killer Hwang Dong-soo, who's looking for Jin-woo in order to avenge the death of his brother. He'd be an intimidating presence if Solo Leveling had any sense of stakes, but we all know there's zero chance of this guy actually posing a threat to Jin-woo. We also get more of the White Tiger Guild leader's interest in Jin-woo and whether or not he's reawakened. An interesting mystery with some potentially huge consequences for the larger world of Solo Leveling. But that storyline is moving at a snail's pace, and it's kind of hard to remember that people discovering Jin-woo's stupidly huge increase in power is meant to be important. And of course, there's the mystery of the program that allows Jin-woo to level up, the most compelling story of the show, but that's another pot that seems to be simmering in the background. So there is more to Solo Leveling than the action, but in the early stages of Season 2, the show seems uninterested in paying attention to anything other than Jin-woo's accomplishments in combat. Once these storylines move along, perhaps the anime will gain some actual substance, but for now, it doesn't matter. Everything is secondary to the intensity of the fight scenes and the tremendous number of hell yeahs they elicit. And you know what? It works. This is not a show I watch for complex characterizations, nuanced discussions on morality, intricate world building, or even memorable characters. I keep up with Solo Leveling for the same reason I watch gamers pull incredible acts of badassery in Elden Ring or play a game using every cheat code and mod available. That's where Solo Leveling becomes a distinctively thrilling viewing experience. The Season 2 premiere of Solo Leveling does not hide its flaws, but instead leans heavily into what makes it so enthralling, its dynamic action and the simple appeal of watching a main character who's so overpowered that he mows down wave after wave of enemies. It knows what it is, it makes no effort to hide it, and it does what it does very well. The Season 2 premiere of Solo Leveling's IGN score? 7. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest Solo Leveling updates, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.